the pain in
Yeah.
my head. It's like all behind my left eye too. When you ask
So
when you ask Google, it's like, yeah, that's a brain aneurysm. I'm like,
cool. Love that for you. Google.
yeah.
Dr. Google. What a jerk.
Yeah. You ever finally sit down, like really sit down, and that's the exact moment someone yells your name from the other room?
Oh, yeah. Every time. It's like the universe knows. The second I get comfortable, someone needs a snack, the dog's barking, or my phone's ringing.
So whether you're listening in the car, hiding in the bathroom, or actually lucky enough to sit down,
grab your coffee and let's get into it. Welcome to I Just Sat Down. Hello, friends, and welcome back to I Just Sat Down. Today, we're talking about something that almost every woman has experienced: being asked deeply personal questions and feeling like we owe an answer. Whether it's, when are you having a baby? Why are you working so much? Why aren't you married yet? Are you trying? Did you stop breastfeeding? The list goes on and on. And it seems like women are constantly expected to explain and justify their choices. Some questions come from pure curiosity, some come from concern, and some are simply nobody else's business. So today we are unpacking why women feel pressure to answer these personal questions, how motherhood seems to amplify it, and why protecting your privacy doesn't make you rude, it just makes you human. I feel like this topic has come to light a lot more for me in the past little bit. And I think becoming a mom definitely amplifies it. But also these questions happen before we become a mom. You know, I feel like those expectations are put on us immediately. Oh, when are you going to find someone? When are you going to, why aren't you dating? Oh, is he the one? And those questions I think are genuinely out of curiosity and
people aren't
whatever.
trying to be rude
No,
necessarily, but yeah.
exactly. But I think there comes a point where you hear girls and they're like, oh, every time I go to a family function, I'm fighting off all these same questions that I get asked every single time I go. And it's like, just stop asking. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where obviously we are humans and we want to start conversations,
Right.
and conversations come from questions,
Mm-hmm.
right? So but I think we're in that realm of when do the questions become too personal? When have you asked them a million times? And maybe just, what are the right questions, or what are better questions to ask maybe?
And sometimes it's the same aunt asking the same question every time they see you, and you're like, did my non-response last time not strike a chord? Did not ask me that again?
Right. Exactly. Right. And I think that's when it becomes okay, you've already asked me that. Oh, my answer hasn't changed, or whatever it may be. Right.
And I think with our generation learning, having these questions asked to us, feeling so personal, that we very much think thoroughly before we ask questions now. We're like,
right.
Okay, I want to ask, but how do I ask without being nosy, or is this something that's a sensitive topic for this person? We thoroughly think about these things, I feel like, half the time, instead of just blurting out. And if you blurt it out instantly, you're like, oh, I'm an idiot. You instantly take it back and you're like, shit, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. But, because you want to correct yourself.
Yeah. I think too, social media opens us up maybe to having bigger conversations about certain things, because, you are sharing parts of your life that you're okay with sharing, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes that will open up questions, but I think there's still certain questions that people maybe, and maybe it's not us, I would never go and ask someone my age that question, but I know that their aunt might still do that.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's not about I don't really get triggered when somebody in my inner circle asks me questions.
Right.
It's when literal strangers do, or just strangers saying certain things. I remember when we were full on COVID, we had it was because my birthday's in April. So we had like a little like party outside where like two of my friends came, and we literally just had like that couple in a car, and Dave and I sat on our back of the truck in the driveway, and we just had drinks. We had like a cheers, like it was my birthday. I didn't want to miss out. We were very much in the beginning stages of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I remember my one girlfriend, like, she didn't even get out of her car. The guys were using the bathroom. Like, you know, it was just all very different levels. But after that had happened, I was outside the next day with Ace, taking him out to go to the bathroom. And some lady was like, oh, I saw that you guys had like a little COVID get together. And I was like, uh-huh. And she was like, oh, what was it for? And I was like, oh, it was my birthday. Like, we were just kind of trying to like celebrate in any way that we could. She was like, oh, how old are you? And I'm like, I don't know this woman. Yeah. Okay. This is already a question that I'm like, where is this going? Because why does this matter? But I had said it was my birthday. So that's a valid question to ask. I said I just turned whatever I was, 31. 31 in 2020? I don't know. Anyway, 31 or 32, whatever. Something around there. And then she proceeded to be like, oh, and you don't have kids yet? Oh, yeah. And I was like, no, not yet. And like at that point, you know, we weren't trying. Yeah. But I did know in my space, in like the people around me, like that could have been a very triggering question to ask from a stranger. Like, what if we were trying for years and you've just made me break down? Now I have to go into my house and cry, or cry in front of this random stranger. Like, I think those are the questions that people just red flag shouldn't be asking. Following this same lady who lives in our complex, I want to say bless her soul, but I don't. Because fast forward to now, we have Charlie. This was, I think, last year. And, you know, she was like, I was wearing this like jumper thing, and I don't know, guess I looked pregnant. And she was like, oh, are you expecting number 2? And I was like, no. And she kind of just stopped. She was like, oh, huh. And then I proceeded to walk away from her, and I must have been in a mood that day, because I actually turned around and said, do you know what? Like, do you think that that's an appropriate question to ask another woman? And she was taken aback. Like, she was like, oh, like, sorry. Like, I don't know if she realized that she offended me. She was probably embarrassed. Right. But like, it's a little bit offensive. Like, okay, basically just call me fat. Cool. Love that for me. But I just straight up asked her, like, do you think that that's an appropriate question to ask somebody else? And I don't think she really kind of knew what to say in the moment. And I think when she didn't answer me, I got even more like mad. And I was like, that's not a question that you ask someone. And I straight up said, this was when we weren't dealing with anything. Like, we weren't even really trying for a second at that moment. And like, I just said, I'm like, sometimes people really struggle. That could have been a very triggering. And I broke it down for her. Yeah. Probably not in the nicest way that I could. Somebody
needed to, I feel like, yeah.
But like, this is the second time that you've asked me about my personal life. We do not know each other. She is a lady in our complex who you often see her out chatting with other people. Love that for her. She's just a friendly
she's
lady.
Going to discuss with somebody else.
She wants everyone to be her friend, I guess. And like, that's fine for some people, but I'm not your girl. Yeah. I'm not the one.
And I'm not your discussion
I love
point
my friend. Yeah. And like, I mean, I small talk for a living. So I think when I'm here, I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make small talk. This, that saying, like, you don't shit where you eat kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
this is where I live. I don't, not that I'm like, I'm rude to people. Obviously I have friends in our complex, but I
Mm-hmm.
just don't want to have those conversations every single day. Like sometimes I just want to walk the dog or hang out with my kid outside without having to chat.
Yeah.
But I think that was probably the first time that I really leaned into, this is an older generation.
Yeah.
These are not questions that we ask people anymore, period.
Yeah.
I think 1 in 6 people, or couples, I should say, experience infertility.
Yeah.
These are not questions to ask people. These are not questions that are the answers are any of your business, right? Anyways, that's my really long story for today.
But I do remember like talking about this before, but it wasn't the second part. It was the first part whenever she had asked you years ago, whenever she asked you, oh, and no kids. And it was like, people are still doing that. People are still asking, like in this generation of like a lot of not getting married, not wanting kids for the sake of just not wanting them is okay. Like that's
right.
That's literally a normal life for people, like not wanting to have kids. And like you praise those people because they have those boundaries, they've made those decisions for themselves. And then for somebody to come in and be like, oh, like that's crazy. Like it's such a shock to people that
you're projecting your own things onto another couple.
And people are allowed to change their minds too. So if they say, like, I genuinely don't want to have kids, I don't feel like that's for me in this crazy ass world that we're living in, I don't want to bring kids into this. That hurts a little bit because I brought kids into it. So when people say I don't like bringing kids into, that's hurtful to me.
Right.
But I get their standpoint on it. But then in a couple of years, when they decide, wow, I really do want to have kids, that's allowed. They can do that. They can change their mind without being criticized for, oh, well, you said you didn't want kids. Who cares? Who cares if they said that? I wanted tacos for dinner and now I want macaroni and cheese. Like, fuck, who cares?
I think too, like another thing is that like those 2 conversations that I had with that lady would have never happened with Dave. Like, no. Right? Like with like men just don't get asked these things.
No.
Even when both of us show up together at a function, he's going to go and drink a beer or whatever, and I'm going to be asked those questions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
especially if you are not drinking a beer, like, oh, why aren't you drinking?
Right. And I think, like, obviously, in most cases, well, in all cases, the women are the ones that get pregnant, but there are just these double standards in even questions that we're asking people. Like, it's crazy. I remember being at a wedding, like postpartum, and people would be like, oh, who's watching the baby?
Yeah.
The other person that created the baby is watching the baby.
Like, that's
right?
such a shocking thing. Yeah.
Right. It's just, we're like, oh, why are you going back to work? Or, I think that's such a simple question. Why are you going back to work right away? And it's like, well, let's break down my financials with you. Yeah. Because that's appropriate.
Are you going to pay me to stay home? No, then mind your own fucking business.
That's right. And I used to say that. I was like, well, the government's not paying me to stay at home, so here I am.
Right.
Because, not everyone gets a maternity leave. Not everyone gets those things. So I think it's just funny that, there are just so many questions that maybe don't seem personal, but to the wrong person, it's going to be deeply personal. And it's just like, where do we stop asking these questions? And I don't even think it's not even like all related to fertility and all that stuff, right? Because I think like, why aren't you breastfeeding? That's another huge triggering question because some people can't. Yeah. Some people desperately want to, and it's not working. Yeah. Other people stop because of their mental health.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or sleep or 1,000 other things, right? Or,
babies
they simply
don't latch
don't
all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes they just don't want to,
Yeah, 100%.
right?
Mhm.
And like, and someone, I think that's the same thing as like, oh my God, you don't want to have kids. Oh my God, you don't want to breastfeed. Like
Mm.
some people are like,
So
I'm like,
judgy.
I'm so judgy. And I think as humans, sometimes we are just judgy,
Yeah.
right? But I think we really have to remember that your body, your choice, you
Mhm.
can do whatever it is that you want. I think so much stuff is thrown in our face on socials now
Yeah.
that it is sometimes harder to like stand your ground in the decisions that you make because we're seeing so much online. But
Yeah, I feel a lot of heat around like body positivity. Like that's something that always comes up for me because like when I was dancing, I'm comfortable in my skin, I'm comfortable in my body. Like I'm grateful for what my body can do for me. And then you see these
Mhm.
videos where people are like obesity is not something that should be like, beautified and whatever else. And I get there's like
Right.
a health side to it also, but like to tear somebody down because of their size is not the vibe. I was going to
But
say one of
also
the
praising people for being super skinny is not a vibe either,
Right. And
right?
that's where the
So,
back and forth part comes, right? Because if you gain weight, people are like, "Ooh, like are you expecting or like, is there a health issue there? Is there something going on?" Or, they want to know and it's not their fucking business. And then if you lose
right,
weight, you're, "Oh my gosh, you look so great." You could be dying slowly inside. And usually weight is lost from like divorce or relationship issues or your stress or something
right.
health wise, right? It's not always the goal. It's not always the best thing for a person when they
No,
lose weight, but it's always glorified like, oh my gosh, you look so great. And somebody could have
yeah,
been trying to gain a little bit of weight to be a little bit curvier and it's not looked at the same way. My biggest
right.
struggle growing up was my skin. I had severe acne where my cheeks were always all red. Like I have severe scarring and stuff like that to this day because of how bad it was. And back then we didn't really like have proper treatments. There was this cream, it was called Stevie Emison, and it would like burn your skin. You had to put it on every night after you wash your face, and it would literally try to like burn the acne off your skin. So my face was very red, very, yeah, very painful. And I remember it was like our best friend. I was like probably in my 20s and I still had severe. Like I had it from the age of 11. I still get acne to this day. Like it doesn't go away when you hit 40. That's bullshit. But it,
That's
it was
lies.
like, it was somebody who I was very, very close to that had asked me, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you not taking care of your skin better? Why are you not like they have laser treatments and stuff like that for that? So why are you not going that route? And to me, it was just like, oh, like I've learned to accept my flaws and I'm comfortable in my
Right,
skin and at that age not 100%, but I was trying to learn how to just be comfortable without wearing makeup and you know
right,
these things. And then for somebody to say something like that, you're just like, I get that you have no issues with your skin. So for you, it's not something that you would have to try to understand. But for me, I wasn't in a financial position to go and do laser treatments on my skin, or pay for
of
a
course.
dermatologist to tell me like what would be best for me. And I mean, I don't know, maybe that was just part of my journey, just learning to deal with what I had and then do better for
Right,
my kids, right? So whenever
yeah,
things like that come up, it's like finding healthier ways. Okay, make sure you're drinking a lot of water, make sure your diet is healthy, make sure that there's things that like you're doing for yourself that are not creating these hormonal imbalances in your body, right?
right,
But I don't know. I'm also not a doctor or dermatologist.
yeah. I think you hit something that like goes with all of this, and it's that you know she's saying that to you with her perfect skin
Mhm.
and not understanding any of the back end, the expenses, well, I need to go to a dermatologist, what I'm eating, like all of these different things. And I think that's where a lot of these questions happen that hurt because it's somebody who doesn't know. And I think like educating people now on understanding that, you know, because you haven't went through something, these are still not appropriate questions, right? To
Ignorance
be
of,
asking, or even
yeah.
statements. It doesn't necessarily have to be a question. It's like, sometimes there's things that people say that they don't think
Yeah.
is
Oh, why
offensive
is
because
your
they have
skin?
no, yeah, because they
Yeah.
have no idea, right?
Yeah.
They don't know what it's taken for you to walk out the door with no makeup on,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like they don't understand the journey it takes to get to a point of, being okay within yourself. Because, I think too, again, like social media, if you're someone who has any sort of platform, like I just finished watching the American Sweethearts, like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and
Mhm.
just some of the things that people say about them online without having any degree of understanding who they are as a person.
Right.
They're taking what these women already think is their biggest insecurity. My hair, my thighs, my whatever it may be, my face, my skin,
Mhm.
and people are fixating on that and blowing it up online.
Which
And
is
now
so
these
wild to
girls
me.
who are young, these
Mhm.
girls are like in their 20s
Yeah.
and they're having, the worst things about them with a billion likes on TikTok or whatever it may be. And they're seeing that. These are real human beings seeing these comments, seeing these things. And I think for you, having someone who's really close to you
Mhm.
ask those questions, she might have felt comfortable enough
Mhm.
to ask you those questions. But doesn't mean that you still don't think about it. Still
Yeah.
don't think about it every single day now when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, like, maybe, maybe I do have to
Like
try
20
and go
years
to,
later, I still think about the fact that she asked me that,
right,
and
right. And it's
not
just,
knowing the struggle that I had for the
exactly.
10 plus years prior to that.
Yes. I
Like,
think we forget that people are human. And like, I think in this day and age, we really do forget that people are human, that people like, there's something so small or insignificant to her. Like, oh, if that was me, I would just go to the dermatologist.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great for you. But there's actually all these other things that I'd have to do in order to get there. So I think, I think we forget that when we don't understand what someone's going through, we just forget that, we don't know. We haven't walked in their shoes. We don't actually know what it took to get to this place,
Right.
right?
And it's also so completely and utterly wild to me now, like as I'm older and I have these different like thought processes and stuff like that, because I feel like I don't look at people on the internet and think anything, just like I don't think like,
Right.
oh hey, she should do this, or hey, she would look better if, or like I just, that's not something that I do. And it irks me so
Right.
bad when I see comments about like specifically, oh, her ankles look whatever, or oh, check out this. And it's like you can notice something and not say something because
Mhm.
it really has no place being said. And
Right.
also I feel like maybe all this stuff that happened to me or spoken to me has created a tougher skin that like if, you know, somebody's mother's uncle, whatever, was like, this and this about Desi, I don't think that I would lose sleep over it now. Like, I feel like I'd be like, that's such a weird opinion for you to say out loud, but okay, that's cool.
Right.
Like, and even like my daughters, right? My daughter will say, "Oh, someone at school was saying that my mom blah blah blah," and I was like, "I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, but I don't
Mhm.
care. Like, it doesn't
Right.
bother me. It doesn't affect me in any which way whatsoever." And then they're like, "Okay, are you sure?" And I truly don't get bothered by other people's comments because they're not paying my bills. They're not
No.
putting any enlightenment into my life whatsoever. There's nothing that they're doing that could change my life by saying that I look a certain way or, that I act a certain way. Like that has no effect on me. Like I
Right.
tough skin ish as I get
Tough
older.
skinish. Yeah. I love that. I did listen to I don't know if you know Emily Kaiser.
Sounds familiar, but
Okay, so she had her son drowned in their backyard in the
no, I
pool.
don't.
Okay. So she just came on Purpose, I think it's called, with Jay Shetty.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, wow.
And she, obviously she got a lot of hate, but also a lot of love, she said, but just around like people asking questions about what exactly happened,
Yeah,
right?
because in real
And
time, the
she
story
said,
kind of moved. Yeah.
yes, for sure. It's been a year
Mhm.
now, and listening to her, it was a really hard podcast to listen to. Trigger warning
Yeah.
on that, but I think just she's done a lot of work, and you can tell she's done a lot of like inner healing, and obviously you'd have to, but what she said was just very like, because I guess Jay asked her, like, what is something that people say to you or ask you that is like the most hurtful thing? And she said something very, like, I was just like, that's very, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but she basically said, like, no one can say anything to hurt me more than we're already hurting.
Right.
And I think that's kind of the view we have to have with people's questions is nobody knows what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can possibly know what you're going through. Even if you are a public figure or you have a podcast or you say whatever, no one's ever going to know exactly how you're feeling about anything in your life except for maybe the people who are living with you directly. And so I think in knowing that, those questions, those things that people say definitely get easier. Like, I think if that woman had asked me that question, I probably would have just been like, oh, let's check again. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it would affect me as much now because I'm like, you actually don't really know what's happening in my life. But I think at that moment, I was just mad that people were still asking these questions
Yeah.
to
Maybe it was a lesson,
women.
though, that she needed to learn, and you had to teach her that day, you know?
I think so. I really do. I hope so. I hope that she never asks another woman that ever again in her life. I hope that she thinks about that conversation every time she thinks, oh, I wonder if she's expecting. I wonder if she's expecting stays in your fucking head. Okay? That's it. Men have learned this. Why have women not? Okay? Seriously. Why have women not learned this? But a man, 90% of them would not say
maybe not
anything about or asking if you're expecting. I think they know not to ask a woman their age. Right?
Here's hoping, man, because I feel like it's still out there for sure. Because my stepdad even asked. I remember my teacher in school. He came in for the interview, and he was like, "Oh, congratulations," and blah blah blah. And I'm oblivious because I don't know what the heck he's even talking about. And then he said something about her expecting, and then she was like, "Nope." I was like, "I'm failing this class. Fuck."
But I think we're still in a generational thing here because I'm not sure if the younger generation would do that, would ask those questions. No. Whereas those boomers, man.
Yeah. We're teaching our partners, don't think it.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Do not say that. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a little rapid fire?
For sure.
Okay. Well, I guess this is an easy one. What's one question people need to stop asking moms immediately?
Mom. Yeah. If you're having more kids.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's, or just like, are you having kids in general?
Because we don't even know. We don't even know in the moment when you ask us either. So stop doing that.
I know. It's such a random thing. A question you've answered 100 times too many.
I don't know. Probably just like about my kids, something personal about my kids that I won't answer. Like you probably won't.
I think for me, it's when are you getting married? I feel like that's like the biggest thing. Yeah, that's a question I get asked, and like I get sometimes it's like in my.
Are you offering to pay for the wedding?
Exactly, right? I'm like, oh, when I win the lottery, absolutely, sign me up.
That's one expensive party that's so unnecessary. But anyways,
God, absolutely. I love when people get married.
Yeah.
My livelihood depends on it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like, whatever. I've been to so many weddings that I just don't care.
Yeah.
Have you ever lied just to end a conversation?
I don't know. Probably, but like, I'm not usually one. Lying is like a big trigger in my head. So I probably haven't like lied.
Right.
I've probably just been like, I'm good.
Abruptly ended it.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, or change. I think I've definitely like just changed the topic.
Pivot. Yeah.
Yeah. Pivot. Just get out of here. What's something you wish people would ask instead?
Would you like a check for $1 million right here with no,
Yeah. You know what? I think like, oh, when are
can
you
I
getting
help?
married? Oh, how are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You know, like that's a shift. Like, you know, oh, how are you guys? You know, I think that's nicer than saying, or when are you guys getting married? Because like really does it matter? Because what if we weren't happy and you're asking me if we're getting married? You know what I mean?
And you're not
So
invited anyway.
anyways.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Have you gotten better at setting boundaries as you've gotten older?
Yeah.
Like absolutely. And I always say this is that like I'm so happy that I had my son a little bit later because I think I've been able to stand so strong in boundaries. Like I think you just get asked so many questions when you're in those like early postpartum stages. And half the time it's like, these are questions I don't know the fucking answer to. Like, how long are you going to breastfeed? I don't fucking know.
Whenever they stop.
Till I'm done. Like, I think there's like, it's like silly questions get asked and you're just like, I literally slept 3 hours. I don't have an answer for you.
I feel like I get joy though out of like awkward questions. When somebody asks, like if somebody was like, how long are you going to breastfeed for? You're just like, oh, I'm just going to keep going. And like, then they kind of get awkward and you're like, they're 2. And you're like, well, maybe till they're 4. Like, I don't know. Maybe.
Right. Okay. Exactly.
You made me uncomfortable. Why can't I make you uncomfortable?
I know, right? Exactly. Are you an over explainer or a one word answer kind of gal?
As I get older, I'm very short answered, but like in a conversation like this, I definitely over explain.
Right. I'm like, okay, Desi, that's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's your 10-minute limit.
Yeah.
Ding.
Yeah.
No, I think it really depends on the situation for me. Whether I'm an over explainer. I mean, I do like to talk, so depending. But what's your go-to response when someone gets too personal?
Oh, I don't really want to explain that. Like, I can just be very open and just say, like, oh, I don't really want to talk about that. Like, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to talk about that right now. See, my chakras were like, stop talking. What the fuck are you trying to say?
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I feel like my go-to response is like to just, I think my go-to instinct is just kind of change this topic or
answer the question with a question.
Yeah. Like, I don't
curious.
really.
Why are you asking me that? Huh?
Yeah. Or I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. These are spicier versions of these questions. What's one boundary you've become unapologetic about? I think for you, it's your kids. Like, just
I was gonna say whatever I'm doing with my kids. Yeah, like I will just shut out the world and be with my kids, and I don't have to explain shit to anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like it's such a hard thing for me. It'll be interesting, honestly, when I'm at like family functions this year because, last year when I was getting asked some personal questions, I just kind of was like, oh, like whatever. We weren't really, because it was like so fresh.
Yeah.
And now I'm just going to be like, who do I want to make uncomfortable?
After 3 of the same question, it's you.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Right. Should friends get a pass for asking personal questions?
Yeah, because if they're your good enough friend, you can be like, why the fuck are you asking me that? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you're just going to answer it because you're close with them, or I don't know.
Right. I think it does definitely depend on
how close
the situation. Like, are we in a group? and you're
Right.
asking
Oh
this
yeah,
question
no,
to
no.
someone that I don't really want to talk about it
I
to.
would probably just go red and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But I think sometimes, I don't know, especially with my own group of friends, like I think sometimes they need to ask the hard questions
Mm.
to make sure that you're actually doing okay, you know? Because like I'm fine, everything's fine, I'm busy. Like those are things that, I mean, I know I often say when really if you ask like the right, maybe the wrong question, I'll just break down in tears full on. So I think, yeah, I think friends do get a pass sometimes, even if they ask a question you're not ready maybe to answer.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just truly want to know, like, hey, like what's going on, you know? So I think, yeah. Anyways. Okay, we'll end on this one. Have you ever wanted to say none of your business to people?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's an obvious, but also I feel like we do that now.
Yeah, I think I'm just at the point where I'm like, I don't even know if I'd say it's
Not
none
like
of your
that.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, why
Not
do you
gonna
feel
answer that.
comfortable enough to ask me that question?
Exactly. Exactly.
Today's episode reminder is simple. You don't owe everyone access to every part of your life. You don't owe an explanation for your family planning decisions, your parenting choices, your career path, your body, your relationships, or your boundaries. You can be kind without being an open book. You can be honest without sharing everything. And sometimes protecting your peace means leaving a question unanswered. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love to hear from you. Send us a message and tell us what's one question you wish people would stop asking women. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Until next time, keep downloading, keep sharing, keep tagging us because motherhood was never meant to be figured out alone. And you being here means everything to us. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that went by fast. Kind of like every quiet moment we try to have in real life.
Right? I swear I just sat down and now it's already time to get back up again.
Story of our lives. But before we head back into the chaos, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
We hope this episode made you laugh, think, or at least reminded you that you're not the only one trying to hold it all together.
Because none of us really have it figured out. We're all just doing our best, one cup of coffee and one deep breath at a time.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss when we finally get to sit down again.
And share it with a friend who could use a little reminder that it's okay to take a break, because she deserves it too.
You can find us over on Instagram and TikTok at ijustsatdown.podcast. We love hearing from you, your stories, your wins, and even your "you won't believe what happened to me today" moments.